Mark Harris and Curious George at the dump truck. This is George. We lived with a friend, a man with a yellow hat. It was a good little monkey, always very curious. Little George was playing with his toys when he heard a funny noise outside his window. It sounded like a quack. George was curious. What was the big quack underneath the window? It was a duck, of course. Then George heard another quack. Another. Well, it was just one duck. It was the mother duck of 5 and small ducklings. Ducklings were something new. George, how funny they were. He watched the ducklings water fast after the mother. While they were going, George not curious for long. Soon he was waddling after the mother duck too. And I could see where they were all going. Ducks were pawed all the way to the park. George loved the park. Today they saw children flying kites. Gardeners painting trees by the pond. Then George saw something he had never seen in the park before. It was a dump truck. It was big. In fact, George was not even tall as one wheel. George forgot all about the ducklings and stopped to look. It was fun to sit in such a big truck, thought George. No one was inside the truck, and the window was wide open, and George could not resist. But sitting in the big back truck, it was not fun for the little monkey after all. George could not even see the way out the window. He was too small. He was only something he could climb on. Would this make a good step for a monkey? It did. Now George could see out the window. He saw the grass, trees eating and pink and sunny. George heard a low rumbling outside. With a stomach rumbling, he wondered if it had been a long time since breakfast, but my rumble was not coming from George's stomach. It was coming from the back of the truck. George was curious, so he climbed out the window and like the monkey, he swung onto the top of the truck. Now he took a look and he saw the truck was filled with dirt. George was excited. What would be better than a truck full of dirt? George jumped right inside the middle of it, sitting up on the top of the dirt. George felt the truck bed begin to tilt. It tilted higher and higher in the big side and slid into the pond. George didn't want to have fun, but the pile of pond got bigger, 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 and bigger. And soon the fun was gone. Then the gardeners came back to lunch and stood open, the mouths wide open. They saw the empty dump truck and the pile of dirt in the pond, a very muddy monkey, and they saw what happened. But before they could get a word, George heard a familiar sound. He heard them quacking. Gardeners heard it too. Then they looked laughing. Look, girl, the ducks have their own island. Indeed they did. A pile of dirt made an island in the pond. Mother duck and her all ducks were wide on top. George was sorry he made such a mess, but the gardens didn't feel mind. They were planting more trees and flowers to make the place look paper. But when the gardens, but you made the park nicer for ducks too. Later, a small crowd gathered at the pond. Would you like to help me feed the ducks? The girl asked George. George was delighted. Soon, everyone was enjoying the park more than before, including the ducks. They were happy as all the new home. The end.